Welcome back to AI Search Explained by Rank4AI. I'm Adam Parker, and I'm here with Jimmy Connoley. Today we're diving into something that's been cropping up constantly in our audits: why AI search platforms are showing completely different information about the same UK business. Jimmy, you've been seeing this firsthand when we deliver reports to clients.
It's mental, Adam. We'll run a business through ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Gemini, and it's like they're talking about three different companies. One says they're open, another says permanently closed, and the third gives you opening hours from 2019.
Exactly. And this isn't just a minor inconsistency problem, it's fundamentally breaking how these systems work for local search. Through our research at rank4ai.co.uk, we've identified that each AI platform is pulling from completely different data ecosystems.
Right, but let's be practical here. A business owner doesn't care about data ecosystems. They care that when someone asks Claude about their restaurant, it says they're closed on Sundays when they're actually open.
Fair point. So let me break down what's actually happening. ChatGPT primarily draws from its training data, which has a knowledge cutoff. Perplexity searches the web in real time, but prioritizes certain sources. Gemini taps into Google's knowledge graph, but interprets it differently than regular Google search.
And Copilot's doing its own thing entirely, pulling from Bing's index. So you've got 4 or 5 different systems, all confidently giving different answers about the same business.
The structural issue runs deeper than just different data sources. These systems interpret business information through completely different frameworks. When I audit a business across platforms, I'm seeing how each AI weighs authority signals differently.
Can you give me a concrete example? Because I think our listeners need to understand how bad this actually gets. We audited a chain of coffee shops across Manchester. ChatGPT listed locations that closed 2 years ago. Perplexity had the right locations but wrong opening hours. Gemini mixed up which services were available at which branches. Claude got the basics right but completely missed their recent rebrand.
That's not just inconsistent, that's actively harmful to the business. Customers are getting wrong information no matter which AI they use.
And here's what makes it worse. Each platform treats corrections differently. You can't just update one source and expect it to flow through to all the AI systems.
So what's actually causing this? Because from where I sit, it feels like these AI companies just aren't talking to each other.
It's more complex than that. Each system has evolved its own interpretation layer. Google AI Overviews pulls from the knowledge graph but filters it through their AI model. Perplexity searches live but ranks sources by its own relevance algorithm. These aren't just different databases, they're different ways of understanding what makes information trustworthy. But surely there are some common sources they all use, Companies House for UK businesses, for instance? You'd think so, but even when they access the same underlying data, they process it differently. Companies House might list a business as active, but if the website's down, some AIs interpret that as closed. Others don't even check the website status.
This is starting to sound like businesses need completely different strategies for each platform. Please tell me that's not where you're going with this. Not exactly different strategies, but definitely a more sophisticated approach than traditional SEO. The key insight from our research is that AI systems rely heavily on structured, authoritative sources, but they define authority differently. All right, so what does that mean in practice? What should a UK business owner actually do about this? First, audit your business across all the major platforms. We do this systematically. Search for your business name, ask about your services, check your location details. Map out what each AI is saying about you. And I'm guessing you can't just fix this with a quick Google My Business update.
Google My Business helps with Gemini and sometimes Google AI Overviews, but it doesn't touch ChatGPT's knowledge base or guarantee Perplexity will prioritize it. You need to think about multiple authoritative sources.
Such as?
Your website's structured data is crucial. That's something all systems can potentially access. Industry directories, professional listings, consistent NAP data across platforms, but also newer signals like how your information appears in news articles or industry publications.
That sounds like a lot of work to maintain. How do you prioritize when you're working with a business that has limited resources?
Start with the biggest discrepancies. If ChatGPT says you're closed but you're open, that's priority 1. Then work on the most common queries about your business. Don't try to fix everything at once.
What about timing? How long does it take for corrections to flow through to these AI systems?
This is where it gets frustrating. ChatGPT might not update until its next training cycle. Perplexity could pick up changes within days if you get them on authoritative sites. Gemini varies wildly, sometimes immediate, sometimes months.
So businesses need to plan for this inconsistency as part of their ongoing operations, not just as a one-time fix.
Exactly. The traditional model of updating your information once and having it propagate everywhere is dead. AI search requires continuous monitoring and multiple source management.
Are there any tools that make this easier? Or are businesses stuck doing manual checks across 5 different AI platforms?
Manual checking is still the most reliable method for now, but you can systematize it. Create monthly queries, track what each platform says, document changes over time. We've built internal tools for this, but the market's still catching up.
What about the business information that's just wrong but consistent across platforms? We've seen that too.
That's often a source authority issue. If a major directory or news article has incorrect information about your business, multiple AI systems might pick it up and reinforce each other. You need to trace back to the root source.
Which brings us back to businesses needing much more control over their digital footprint than they used to.
Right. It's not enough to have a website and a Google listing anymore. These AI systems are looking at your business from multiple angles, and inconsistency in any area can create problems across all platforms.
Let's talk about the bigger picture for a minute. Is this going to get better as these AI systems mature, or worse as more platforms launch?
Both, probably. The technology will improve, but we're also seeing more AI search tools launching with their own interpretation methods. Microsoft's pushing Copilot harder, Google's expanding AI overviews, and new platforms are emerging regularly.
So the fragmentation might actually increase before it gets better.
That's my read on it. Each platform wants to differentiate its AI, which means different algorithms, different source priorities, different ways of interpreting the same information.
What should businesses be preparing for in the next 6 months?
More AI platforms, more inconsistency, but also more awareness of the problem. I expect we'll see some standardization efforts, but businesses can't wait for that. They need to start managing their AI presence now.
Any quick wins you'd recommend for businesses just starting to think about this?
Test your business across ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, and Claude right now. Note the biggest discrepancies. Fix the most critical errors on your website and key directories first. Don't overthink it initially, just get the basics consistent. And if they find major problems, document everything. These AI systems do evolve, and having a clear picture of what needs fixing helps prioritize effort. Also consider that customers are seeing these inconsistencies too. Address the ones that affect customer experience first. Before we wrap up, what's the one thing you want UK business owners to understand about AI search inconsistency? It's not a technical problem you can ignore. Customers are using these AI platforms to find and evaluate businesses right now. Inconsistent information directly impacts your ability to be discovered and trusted, and it's not going to fix itself. Exactly. Traditional SEO assumed one dominant search engine with predictable behavior. AI search is multiple systems with different logic, and businesses need to adapt their approach accordingly. This has been really valuable, Adam. I think we've given people a clear picture of what they're dealing with. Thanks, Jimmy. To recap, AI search platforms show inconsistent business information because they use different data sources and interpretation methods. UK businesses need to audit across multiple platforms, prioritize critical discrepancies, and manage their information presence continuously rather than assuming one-time updates will work. And start with the basics. Test your business on the major AI platforms and fix the biggest problems first. That's it for this episode of AI Search Explained. You can find more insights and resources at rankforai.co.uk, including guides on auditing your business across AI platforms. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.